Hello there all, this is K-Rod here, back with the Cyber Sector Initiative Zone. We're back at it with another CompTia lab. I'm gonna try to at least get a good portion of these done. I'm gonna try to shoot for 5 today, but I think I should be able to get this done pretty swell. So yeah, let's get right to it. This is the CompTia um, applied lab on the CompTia Certmaster Learn where you are using storage encryption. So for this lab, for this scenario, we will be working as a security team member for Structurality Incorporated. You are working to improve your organization's security stance. One area of concern is the protection of individual files using encryption and how to recover access to those files if necessary. In this lab, first you will configure an EFS data recovery agent, and then we'll encrypt files with EFS. Next, you will break a user's account ability to access their own EFS encrypted files. Finally, you will use data recovery agent, to recover access to the EFS encrypted files. So basically, we're going to be doing file encryption and restoration in this particular lab, and yeah, this will be pretty interesting. But before I do anything to start this video off, be sure to like this video, do what you have to do, and yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. Um, I am gonna try to get all 37 of these labs done. I'm at least 30 something away. I think I have 31 labs left. But if I try to get 5 done today, I should have at least less than 27 labs left to complete, or at least 26. So yeah, I think I should be sitting at 27 labs. But yeah, I shouldn't have a problem with getting these labs done. So these labs should be quicker than expected, so I should be able to get these done for you in a timely manner. So, yeah, let's get this done. I'm going to try to get them done little by little, but we will be closer to the finish line soon enough. And then eventually, I'll probably do the performance-based question. Yeah, performance-based questions if I choose to do so. So, I'll probably focus on that after I get all these labs done. So, all right, let's get right into it. First things first, we have to use Control Alt Delete to sign in. We're gonna sign in as Jamie. You have to sign in with password. If you're able to just autofill it right into let the box, just click that little green button, and then you'll be able to sign right in. Once you do that, um, we have to go into PowerShell. So let's just go right into the search bar, type in PowerShell, and then once we get into PowerShell, um, I would like to run as a administrator. That's what the task is telling us. But for future means of using PowerShell in these um, particular tasks, it's always best to run as the admin. So therefore, you have full control of your application, so you know what exactly is being configured and ran with the particular software. So now that we have PowerShell open, we just have to put in this code in. Um, this is going to remove the computer from the virtual machine from the domain, and then it's going to configure it as a standalone system. So for this particular node that you see right here, this is necessary for this lab in order to simulate the loss of an EFS private key. The process used in this lab, yeah, used in this lab, um, yeah, to remove a user's EFS privacy key does not work um, on a domain like a member. So yeah, let's just run this code and then we'll just move forward with this. So once you have this, you have to put in a password. It's going to prompt you to do so. Once you do that, you'll be set to go. So we're going to type in password. I'm just going to autofill it, but you see this button right here? Just click on it if you're able to, and then this will give you the ability to load that up, and then just press OK. You'll be good to go after that. Once you have that, your system is going to reboot as it did right there. So once we get to the next phase of signing in, it's going to prompt us to sign in, and we have to sign in as an admin. So we won't be signing in as Jamie. So this is going to be the local administrator to be signed into the account. So once we're in, we will be able to utilize our method for what we need to do for this project. So once we're here to the sign in phase of the virtual machine, you just type in password right here that you see to your right side of the screen. Or if you're not able to do that, just type it in. Just make sure that you carefully type it in because it's like $2 symbols and then you have to put like a number in between. But once you have that, you'll be set to go. Once you get in here, you have to manually create the encryption file system and data recovery agent certificate stored in the new folder inside C drive under certificates. So I'm just going to drop down this hint right here. But what you do right here, you go into your CMD and let's just run it as an admin because we don't want to have any complications. So once we're here, we run as a administrator. Once you're loaded up here, type in this code right here, or you could autofill it right in. That's MICDIR C drive certificates. This is going to create the certificates folder. So therefore, we have that in our folder directory. And then once we do that, we have to change the new folder and run the command. So we have to change the directory. So once we do that, after you run the code, that's going to create a new directory for the new folder that we just created. After we do that, we have to put in a code for ciphering. So this is going to create and then export the certificate to be used for encryption file service. Yeah, file service recovery agent or a file system. I'm sorry, encryption file system. I apologize. Because I just got mixed up with like my words. Encryption file service, like a file system. I apologize. Recovery agent activities, and this command, the Cipher command, will run this process so we can move forward with processing our data for the like encryption recovery process. So once we do that, you just press on that. Oh, okay. Um, oh, hold on. Hold on. Let me restart this and then I'll be right back. Hold on, because I just made like a little error. But I'm gonna pause it and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I already had everything created, but once you get up to this part, you just type in the cipher /R double colon encryption file system system recovery agent. So yeah, so that's going to basically run within that process. After that loads up, you have to put in the password to put inside the command prompt. So once we do that, it's gonna type in the password, and then once that's typed in, you just press enter. Hold on, hold on. Let me put that in. Okay, so I'm gonna type the password in again, and I should be good to go. Okay, so now that we have that, we should be able to just type in directory, and now we have everything that we need to see. So once we have our data that's right in front of us, we should have everything set to go with our information that we need to do to move on to the next step for this particular project. So I'm going to score this and we should be good to go. Hold on. All right, good. So now we have both files that exist, and now we need to add the encryption file system um, uh, data recovery agent certificate to the local security policy. So once we do this, we will be good to go. So in order for us to do this, we have to go to mmc .exe. So that's going to be our command to look for the certificate that we need to configure. So once we go through the security prompt to run as an admin, or just like run the command, and then you have to just press yes for the user account control parameter that it just asks you to like confirm that you want to go there, and then you'll be good to go. So now that we're here, you see that there's a folder called console root, and then you have console one. So from the console one window, we have to select file, and then we have to select add forward slash forward slash remove snap-in. So you click on that, and then once that's set up, you have to then put in a particular uh, group policy that will basically give us the ability to select our group policy object to configure. So on the add or remove snap-ins window, we have to select group policy um, group policy object editor. So let me go find that, and let's just find it here. I haven't done this in quite a while, but I know exactly where I need to go. So I see it right here. This is exactly what we need. Once we have this, you just click on add, and then this box is gonna pop up, and then we just need to make sure that we just click on finish. So it says right here on the select group policy object window, leave the default name of a local computer, and then we just click on finish. So now that we have that, we just click on OK, and then it says right here for step G, the local computer policy should now be displayed in the console one window. So now we just select local computer policy in the left pane, or actually I could just click it right here, and then there we go. So in the left pane under computer configuration, double click Windows 7. Windows settings. And once we have that, we should be good to go. So I see Windows settings right here. Double click that, and then now we have to find security settings, which is right here. You double click on that, and then we need to see, like, we need to find public key policies. That's going to be our next step right here. So once we go from there, we have to go find encrypting file system. This is our target that we need to see. So once we do this, we have to right click it, and we have to click on add data recovery agent. So once we have that, we have to go through the agent wizard to just click on next. And then once we're here, you have to click on browse folders. And then once we are up here in this particular screen, we then have to find our local disk, and then we have to find that particular folder that we need to see for what we had for our certificates. So we have to go to this PC. I could just go right here, click on local disk, and then double click on, let's see, double click on certificates. That's our next step. And then click on this. This is what we need. We need the encryption file system recovery agent file, and this is going to be our certificates folder to create the data recovery agent to move on with the process. So once we're done with that, we then have to just validate it. So after this file has been opened, we then have to just click on next, and therefore we should be able to finish it. So I'm going to do that. That should be finished, and then now it's saying that we have to just close the console one window and select no if it's prompted to save the settings. So yeah, we're just gonna click on no because we're not going to be we're not going to be saving anything. So let's just click on no, and then yeah, that's good to go. So now we need to create a new local user account named Pat with the password of password. So this is going to be pretty fun. So what we need to do is that we need to return to the administrator command prompt. So we need to go back to CMD. We have to create a new account entering the following: net user Pat password. Okay, so that's what we need to do. So yeah, let's go right back into that, and let's see what we need to do. Uh, so yeah, let me go back to this. I'm just gonna exit out of this, and I'm going to just do the same thing with this. Run as an admin, and we should be good to go with that. So let's see. I'm gonna just do net user pat add word. Okay, there we go. So we should be good to go with Pat. So we just created his account. So basically, what I just did right here, I just basically added like a brand new pass brand new user to my particular um to my particular like user, like like account database per se, by using the command prompt. And then once that had been added, this is going to be added to our file system records. So therefore, we have Pat as our first user, as a system, as a systems um, administrator. And then after we have that done, we should probably move with the next step with probably using some sort of data recovery agent to make sure that we have our data backed up with everybody's information. So yeah, let's just move forward because I think I already know what I have to do next with this. So yeah, we have to just sign out of the PC10 by just clicking onto the start menu, and then let's just click on our little human looking face right here and just click on sign out. So we're gonna just sign out of admin, and then we'll be good to go. So now the next step is that we have to sign in as Pat, and we have to put in our information for him to sign in. So, oh wait, hold on. I apologize. I got a little bit mixed up there. My apologies. So, yep, here we go. We have Pat right here, and we just have to put in his password. We should be good to go. Should let us sign right in, and there we go. Good, we got Pat. So we are set to go with his information, and yeah, this should be what we need. So the next step is that we have to create a text file named Jan Security Text in a folder called Security Reports. So we have to click on File Explorer, and then we have to click on this PC local disk, double click that, and then in the blank space of the view pane, just right click and then click on New Folder. And then now we're going to call this Security Reports. And then once we're done with this, we just click on Enter, and then double click this, and then click on New Text Document. And then this should be our next phase to type in the new title for it. This is going to be Jan Security, and yeah, click on Enter. So now that we have that, we have to click on, yeah, we need to create two additional text files for yeah, named February security and March security and the security reports. So this isn't really too hard. All you have to do is just do the same thing. Autofill this February security, and then we need March security. That's what the next task told us. So we do that, press enter, and there we go. We should be good to go. So should have that. That should give us the answer, most likely, because sometimes CompTia likes to be a little bit janky, so you got to be a little bit careful. So yeah, so the next step is that we have to open each of these new text files and enter. This is a this a security report, and save each file. So okay, so we're just going to just do the same thing, but we are going to go right into the file and just type this in. Well, it should be saying this is a security report, but it's just saying this a security report. So do that, press save, and then exit right out, and then do the same thing for March security. Uh, do the same thing, and then press save. Yep, just click on file and then hit save, and then that'll be good to go. So it's not really difficult. It's just more like you have to be like extremely repetitive with some certain things. And I do like that CompTia, they give you kind of like the Google cybersecurity element or the IT support element to kind of work with particular labs. But the one thing I just don't like about this is that they don't give you like the ease of access to kind of click on certain buttons to kind of like give you the proper information to say, okay, click on this button to just add this in here, and the reason for this is blah blah blah. This is how everything is to be connected with like what you're doing. So all right, I'm just validating like my saves because sometimes what the VM doesn't capture. my saves properly. So, you have to be like a little bit careful with that. So once we have that, we have to go use File Explorer, and we need to encrypt January security.txt in the security reports. So this is how we actually encrypt files, whether if people are probably working in IT or anywhere within the cyber field. Uh, Basically, how you do this is that you have to go into your properties, and then on the general tab, you see that, you see that there's the advanced button. You click on this, and then once you click on that, you will have a checkbox named Encrypt Contents to Secure Data. Click on that, and then click on OK. So once you click on OK, you have to click on OK again. So therefore, it can validate it effectively. So once we have that, it's now going to say, do you want to encrypt the file and its parent folder, or do you want to encrypt the file only? This is basically common within any folder that you see within at like a high level organization of a bit of a business, or possibly within government tech firms, within federal departments or something like that. Well, I would at least say within like the U.S. and probably other countries where they will probably have like certain means to like handle set handle sensitive data, and therefore this question will always pop up within computer, like like a technical security screening to ask you, do you want to encrypt your file in the parent folder? That basically means that it's going to encrypt the folder, and then it's going to encrypt the file alone. So basically, you it's gonna add like that extra layer of a security. But if you just want to encrypt your file only, and then the folder is still accessible to like get into the folder, you're still able to do that, but it's just going to only add that one layer of security to your file, like technically, in principle. So, yeah, let's get right into it. We're just gonna encrypt the file only. So once we have that, it's going to go into this phase where it's gonna be locked. So it's gonna probably take at least like 10 to 15 seconds to be encrypted. But if you see right here, your folder or your file has like a little like yellow looking star here, and I'm pretty sure that if I wanted to like access it, let me double click it. I'm still able to access it, but let me just try to refresh it a couple times. Usually if you're trying to access a encrypted folder, it's going to ask you to probably, well, it's probably going to tell you that it's like locked, so you're not able to access it. But we'll run into that very soon once we're able to see that. So the encryption file system will give us some sort of pop-up warning to say, warning, this file is encrypted, you're not able to access this file, something beyond those lines. So you're like I will possibly see this within the lab, and I'm pretty sure this is shown within the lab because I did do this lab before, and I'm not too sure if that is common within every single file, but most likely it should show that. So the next step is that we need to check the status of the files in the security report using the Cipher command, and we have to encrypt the February security text file and the March security text file in the command prompt. So I'm going to run cmd, and then once we have this, run as a administrator. Hold on. Uh, oh, that's quite weird. Let's see if I could do this again. Okay. Yeah, let's just like click on it. Like, let's not run as a admin, because actually what we're doing right now, we're just basically we're using Pat's user account, so we're not really signed in as the admin. So we actually so we're actually working as Patrick in this, in this scenario, in order to encrypt the other files within the particular I would say folder that we're trying to work with. So yeah, so just type in CMD. Don't run it as a admin because you have to put in the password for it. So once we're in, you just put in this command here: change directory, security reports, and then after that we have to type in the Cipher command. So we have all of our files that are that are basically shown right in front of us, and it says right here that the Cipher command without parameters will display the contents of the current working directory, along with an indication of the encryption status of each item. The E indicates the item is encrypted, while the U indicates the item is unencrypted. So yeah, basically you can see right here. Let me just extend it a little bit more. You see that my file that I just created right here has that E next to it with January security. That means that the file is encrypted, so I'm not able to access that file unless it's probably let the user that created it. But 9 times out of 10, any file that's encrypted, you're not able to get access to see that file. But the U next to February and March, those are unencrypted files. So yeah, that's pretty interesting to see. And yeah, basically what we're gonna do is that we're gonna cipher the rest of the files, that being February and March, to basically make it protected. So therefore, nobody's not able to see the file. So it's going to be encrypted where you're not able to access it. So in order to do that, you just autofill this code in cipher /e. You put the address symbol dash security dot text. You could just autofill it in, but if you have to type it, unfortunately, for those that want to just do it at home, and let's just say if you just want to make it simple, yeah, just type that in. Once you have that, you need to check the status of the files and the security reports. So we're going to use the Cipher command to bring up our files. And as you can see here, everything is now encrypted. Why do you say that? Because once we put in that Cipher command, that /e onto security.txt, that now told the computer, or it wrote a command script to say that, hey, we need to have all these files to be encrypted. So all these files got encrypted, and therefore everything, it, like, every file, for the February, January, and March security text files all got uh, all got encrypted with the Cipher command. So now they're all protected. Like, therefore you're not able to see the files. So now, once we have that, it says right here we need to check the status of each file. So let's just put in the word cipher, and then we're going to put in cipher /d march security. It says right here, decrypting files and security report, march security text. Yeah, security.txt, one files or directories within one directory were decrypted. So basically, we're going to be decrypting the files, so therefore we can see the contents of that file. Because now, what I just did right there, do you know, like, do you see that difference within that letter? That's basically the /d versus the /e. The /d is now a deciphering method. We're like, basically with that coding method in CMD for command prompt, that's now deciphering the contents of a file that we need to see in order to look at our encrypted files that were just basically hidden for users not to see it. So that's basically the cipher command in order to decrypt the file. Yeah, to decrypt the file in order to look at the contents for it. So now we have to do the same thing. We have to view all the other files. So it says right here, check the status of the security reports, and then decrypt March security. Okay, so actually, I don't think that we need to use, yeah, like, we don't really need to do like the other ones, because it says right here, notice that the January security and February security text files are now marked as encrypted, and now March security text file is marked as unencrypted. So yeah, if we just run the cipher command right here, it's gonna do the same thing. We just unencrypted the March security file, and the other two files for January and February, they're still encrypted. So now that we're done with that, we just need to close this out, And then our next step is to configure File Explorer to display encrypted files in alternate colors. So now we have File Explorer that needs to be open. In the File Explorer menu, we need to click on View, and then we have to click on Options. So let's see, we have Options. All right, let's click on that, and let's see. Um, yeah, let's see Options. Let's click on that and click on the View tab, and then we have to go find this option called Show Encrypted or Compressed. There we go. Show encrypted or compressed NTFS files in color. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. So let's click OK, and then this is going to now change our files. This is quite interesting. So the reason why this is important, because this is now showing a difference within our files, that both of these files are now colorized if they are encrypted, because unencrypted means that they're black, but encrypted files are now colored. This is very interesting because for those that probably don't know, if you have like any high level business, or let's just say like if you've watched any movies within hacking or within any means of like computer cyber, like a cybersecurity level tech, where let's just say if it's like a military movie or anything like that, don't you notice that certain files that certain characters do within the movie, they have like certain encrypted files that are shown in color? Well, this is very similar to that, because let's just say if you've ever watched the movie Hitman, Hitman actually has something similar to this too, where whenever he's going into his computer, blah blah blah, Agent 47, put in like your login information, blah blah blah. But certain files that he's able to see are encrypted, but he probably has to put like a certain code in order to see the file. So that is very interesting to see, because like you can see within other movies that within the world of tech, within cybersecurity fundamentals, that certain files that are to be colored do represent a file, uh, like a file encryption. Well, like they represent the encryption file system being put in place to protect the user's data, and then only certain individuals are able to see that. But I just wanted to point that out because I found that to be very interesting. But I did notice that from the past. But yeah, let's get right into it, and let's just finish this up. I don't want to hold up your time. I apologize. So now that we have that, we have to sign out of Pat's account, and we have to now um, go into the admin account. So we do that, we click on sign out, and now that we're here, just to Control Alt Delete. Now that we're here, click on admin, click on password, just click on this little green button here. Or if you want to create your own like account, if you're doing it by yourself, just create two different accounts. Therefore, being like your administrator, and then you have just like another user that you could use as like a test dummy subject. So now that we're here, we have to open File Explorer, and we have to view the contents of the security reports folder. So let's go right here, and I think it's right here under certificates. No, I totally forgot. Oh, here we go. All right, so yeah, here we go. We're right here. So we now see that both of these files are still encrypted. So we still have these files encrypted. And let's just say that if I want to open this, I'm going to double click it. And let me try to open it with Notepad. And oh no, what just happened? We don't have permission, or you don't have permission to open this file. See the owner of the file or an administrator to obtain permission. So it seems like that somebody within the company decided to create some files and encrypt it so nobody else can see it. So that's quite interesting. So I think this is where we're going to try to do the same thing with February. Can we do the same thing? No, we're not able to open up the file. So both these files are obviously encrypted because the user that we had created for Patrick probably ended up encrypting it. So maybe within this lab, we're going to end up, decrypting it as a systems administrator in order to break into this file. So once we were able to open up those two files for January and February, we weren't able to open that. But if you see right here, if you're able to just click on March security notepad file, you're able to see the contents of that file. So it says right here, EFS can be used as a means by which individual users can limit access to files and folders without the need to configure access control settings on those files and folders. Any user that does not possess the correct EFS key will be unable to access the encryption file system uh, encrypted files. While EFS does hide the content of files from other non-authorized users, it does not hide the existence or the name of the file. So yeah, you're not able to like basically hide the name, but you're only able to like prevent the contents of the file being seen. So that's what kind of gives, you know, that little vulnerability to EFS where, you're not able to like purely hide the file. I mean, you could probably do it. You have to probably use some sort of maybe, I'm not too sure what exactly that you have to do. I think within like high level like hacking, you could probably use cipher code to kind of like use some form of like a steganography to like hide the name of the file, so therefore nobody else can see it. Or you could just put it inside a compressed folder, and therefore nobody's able to view the contents of that file. But either way, let's just move forward because I don't want to hold up your time. But I found that to be interesting. All right, so now that we're here, we have to connect to PC10, and let's just sign in as admin with the password. So we have to change the password of pat to password 123 within the command prompt. So let's get right into it. We're right here. We're gonna run as a administrator, and we're going to change Pat's password to a new password. So we are now the admin. So here we go. We're gonna put in this command right here: net user pat password 123. Be sure to put your spaces in, and then you will be set to go. But once you confirm that this is successfully commanded or prompted right in, it's gonna give you that little message: the command completed successfully. So now that we're done with that, you will now have to sign out. And we are going to do that right now in order to go back to Patrick's account and see where we can go from there. So let's sign out of this, and we are now back to our regular operations with Patrick. And here we go. I'm going to try to put in password 1. That obviously does not work. And why is that? The systems administrator switched up the account for Patrick. So now we have to put in a brand new password called password123. So we have that, and we are now logged right in. Oh no. So what do we need to do? After this, we have to go into the security reports folder, and we have to attempt to open January security and February security. Let's try it. Oh no. What just happened? We need to figure out why can't Patrick get into his files that he created himself. That was his encrypted file. So Patrick does not have the access to access both of these files for January and February security files. That is quite strange. So that's something that you wouldn't think that Patrick would be able to do, but he's the one that created it, right? So what exactly that we need to understand why this happened with this question right here that has now asked us, why is Pat or Patrick why is Patrick's account no longer able to open their encrypted files? And let's see, could it be option 1, they are signed into the wrong computer? Option 2, the files are owned by another accounts? Or option 3, encrypted files can only be opened during working hours? Yeah, that doesn't sound like a right answer. Option 4, an administrator forcibly changed their password. Let's try that. I think that's the right answer. Yeah, there we go. So, the reason why this is to be the case is that, let's just say, like, for example, if I was working for a school, and, let's just say I'm from New York and I work for Hudson Valley Community College as a IT support member. And what I do from there is that if I wanted to create my own files that I had saved on my computer and I want to make it private where nobody else is able to see it, and only I can see these files, but let's just say the system's administrator saw my files, and like I'm not too sure if if a systems administrator could really go all the way through and like looking at your files that you created, whether it's like, let's just say, important data that you have about certain pieces of data that you saw, whether like you need to get like your job done, but like you want to like keep it private, so therefore, nobody else can ever see like what you're trying to look at, or let's just say it's just important information that you have about that you need to take a look at. Well, what could happen from here, from this scenario that could be applied to a everyday working scenario, is that the systems administrator could just go into the CMD and just change your password, and now you don't have access to your files anymore. So, um, I don't think it's always to be the case, but for the most part, you just have to kind of like prioritize the function of, okay, if you have a file that you had once owned and the systems administrator changed it, for the most part, to my knowledge, the systems administrator would have to give you access back to your files that you just encrypted in order to see the files again. But let's see where we go from here in order to gain access to those files. So now we have to use data recovery agent to recover access to the EFS files. So now that we're here, let's see. We're going to sign in as admin. So we're still signing as Patrick. So let's get out of here. Sorry, Patrick. I gotta go back and you know, I gotta go back and give access to Patrick's data. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to sign in as a systems administrator, and once you sign into this, we have to decrypt the January text file using the Cipher command. So what we do from here is that we have to click on CMD command prompt. Be sure to run this as a administrator, and once this is done, make sure that you click on yes after the prompt is over. You run this command cd space C double colons 2 forward slashes security reports. Now we are in the security reports folder. Now we have to attempt to cipher the January security text by running the command, but we are deciphering it. We're not going to just lock it or basically like keep it hidden using the ciphering command. We're going to decipher this file. So you put that in there, and it says that the January text file, the specified file, could not be decrypted. So that is quite interesting. That is very weird. But apparently we have a error with this file, and we are not able to have it decrypted. Let's do the other command in order to cipher it. And it says right here, key information cannot be retrieved. It gives you like certificate thumbprint about the file, and it says the specified file could not be decrypted. So that's quite interesting. It says that notice the display indicates that the admin is a designated recovery certification entity. However, the reason the attempt to decrypt the file failed is that the private key of the ECA DRA has not been imported. Thus, without the private key, the DRA function cannot take place. So, yeah, we basically have to like use a certain function, that being the encryption file system recovery agent PFX private key. So we have to install it into the system. So we have to go into our file explorer. We have to click on this PC, and then once we get here, you have to double click on local disk, click on your certificates folder, and we have to basically click on this file right here. Uh, yeah, we have to click on the EFSRA file, which is labeled as being personal information. Yeah, yeah, being of type personal information exchange. So that's what's going to be our file to click on. So click on this. We have to click on the default section for current user. So don't mess that. Just leave it as it is. Click on next. Leave the default name as it is, and then click on next again. And then we have to create a password. We have to use the same password right here, the PA, $2. Make sure that you capitalize your P, lowercase the A, $2 symbols, lowercase W, the number 0, and then RD. So put that in there. We should be good to go. I'm going to display it for you guys to see that. And yep, we are good to go. Click on next. Um, yeah, yeah, leave everything default and then just click on next. And then after that, click next again. Leave this automatically select the certificate store based on the type of certificate. So leave that default, and then after that, click on finish. Then it says right here on the certificate import wizard notification that the import was successful. So just click on OK. And now we have to return back to the command prompt, and we have to attempt to decrypt the January security text file using the Cipher command. So we have to use the Cipher command to view the encryption status of the current folder's files. Yeah, it says right here. Notice the okay. Yeah, so let me do that again. I'm going to just go back and I'm going to let's see. I'm already here at security reports. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm gonna cipher the January. Yeah, I'm going to decipher. I'm gonna decipher. Hold on. I'm going to. Actually, no. Hold on. It says right here, just use the cipher command. Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna decipher anything. I'm just gonna follow what the steps tell me, and then and then if we need to decipher anything, then we'll just go from there. So here we go. Okay, so we still have our files. The February and January security text files are still encrypted, and the March security text file is unencrypted. So it says right here that notice that the January security text file is now listed as unencrypted. This means as a DRA, you encrypted. Yeah, you unencrypted. Yeah, actually no, because it says right here, return to the command prompt. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, got it. So that's what I forgot to do. I need to unencrypt the January text file. So yeah, basically we need to like unencrypt the January security text file, and then we'll be able to just move forward with the next one. So you see this command right here. Before we move on with the seventh step that I showed you guys, just run this deciphering command because I forgot to tell you guys this. So click on this, and then you will be able to decrypt it, and there we go. That file for the January security text file has now been decrypted. So now that we have that, we will be able to do what we needed to do from there, and then just click on the cipher command, and now we have two files unencrypted, that being our January security text file and then our March security text unencrypted file. So now we need to view the details about encryption of the February security text file through File Explorer, and then use the GUI method to decrypt the file. So we need to go back to File Explorer, and then we have to click on this PC, and then we have to hit on local disk, click on security reports, and then right click February security, select properties, go back to advanced. Oh, hold on. Hold on. We have to select advanced and then select details. Okay. So we have to click on properties, select advanced, and okay, yeah, details right here. Sorry. I wasn't reading properly. All right, so now that we have that, the user access to February security window displays the users who have access to the file. In this case, only PAT, as well as the recovery certificates, in this case, that of the admin. Okay, so what we do from here, we just click on OK. So click OK, and it says deselect the checkbox, encrypt contents to secure data. So yeah, let's do that. Just uncheck this box right here that you see like my cursor, encrypt contents to secure data, and then just click OK. And then after that, click OK again. And then it says you'll need to provide administrator permission to like a to be continued. So it's gonna give you like an access denied. So click continue, and that should be good to go. There we go. So let's see if we got that right. I think we do. That should give us the right answer. There we go. It's now decrypted. So now we have to sign out of admin, and let's go back to Patrick's account. That's really what we got to do. So that's basically what you have to do as a systems administrator, which is really cool and very fun. Uh, I know that certain people within my family actually have done this, and that's pretty interesting to kind of like fix someone's files that you just like looked into, and then you decided to like basically switch up their password, and you can basically recover their files by like doing something like that. So that's very interesting to see. But we're now going to test that theory to see if we're able to look at the files as Patrick for our files that we just encrypted, and we're able to take a look at it. So we're going to go back to security reports, and voila, we now see that all of our files are now decrypted. Why is that? Because like what we did originally up here, we now had to go back into the we had to go into the encryption file standard recovery agent PFX file. And what we had to do, we had to click on the personal information exchange EFSRA file. And what we did from there is that we had to reset the user's security, properties. And what was that like? What that was going to do was that once you done that, you had to then go into the command prompt, and you had to reset the user's file encryption by decrypting the files that that user had created, and now the files are now unencrypted. So now Patrick is able to still have his files and still access his files correctly. But the systems administrator decided to, basically switch up his password, so he's not able to even see his files anymore. So the systems administrator had to go in and fix that. So yeah, we're pretty much done right here. This was a pretty fun video. Yeah, these videos really take a long time, but they're always pretty fun to do. But now we have to answer some questions before we get out of here. So let's get right into it. A DRA is able to perform what task? That is a and data recovery agent. Let's see. Is that to recover access to data that the user had with EFS? Yeah, that sounds about right. The first one is just recover files from damaged storage device. That doesn't make sense. Recover deleted files from backup. Recover access to a user's encryption file standard private key, or the other option, recover access to data that a user had encrypted with EFS. I'm gonna go with that. Yep, we are correct. So let's get right into this. We have like four more. What is the command used to encrypt the file from Windows command line interface? Do we use encrypt? Do we use Cipher /E? Or do we use protect /E? Or do we use EFS /C? Let's go with the third one, Cipher /E. Yes, we are correct. Yes, sir, we got that done. Where can a user encrypt a file in Windows? So the very first options is Command Prompt, File Explorer, PowerShell, Z Shell. You can encrypt files using PowerShell, and you can use Command Prompt. PowerShell, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Like, if I had said PowerShell, I apologize. Sorry, like my mind gets like a little bit mixed up with these words. I think I did say File Explorer and Command Prompt. Those are your two options that you can use. PowerShell and Z Shell, I don't think you're able to do that, so I'm going to go with no on that. Are we right? No, we still have another option. So Let's see. I'm going to try to use PowerShell. Can we do that? Okay, yeah. Okay. I was wrong. So, yeah, you can basically use PowerShell, File Explorer, and Command Prompt in order to encrypt your files within Windows because like I actually totally forgot that PowerShell gives you the ability to do that. But I was just like thinking within this particular lab that Command Prompt and File Explorer were the only ones available. But no, with PowerShell you're able to do it, and I'm pretty sure you're able to do it within other like third party softwares, whether you're using it within Windows. But to the best knowledge that is out there, Command Prompt, File Explorer, and PowerShell are your best options to encrypt a file within Windows to make sure that your file is completely encrypted and protected where nobody's able to see it. All right, number four, a DRA, data recovery agent, can be defined or established after a file is encrypted, and they can still recover access to the plaintext if needed. I'm gonna go with true. I think that's the right answer. Okay, no, that is false. So, no, that is not true. It is actually false. A data recovery agent can be defined, yeah, cannot be defined or established after a file is encrypted, and they can still recover access to the plaintext. So no, that is not true because you'd still need to use the EFS, PFX software. So So basically, once you do that, that's where you're able to basically recover your files, and you're not able to go through that process by using just purely let the DRA. That's not going to give you access to those files. So this is our file this is the file that I'm talking about. This is what gives you let the access to your file that you just encrypted that you don't have access to because the systems administrator decided to switch up your password and then now you don't have access to it. So this is the particular file that you have to run. But the EFSRA.pfx file, which was imported onto the system before the DRA was able to restore the plaintext, version of the files contains what? Is it the public key of the DRA, or is it the private key of the DRA, or is it the symmetric key encrypting the file, or is it the asymmetric key encrypting the storage device? Let's see. I think I've already just talked about it, but sometimes my mind gets a little bit mixed up. I'm gonna go with this one, private key. All right, yes, we are good to go. I knew I, yeah, I knew that I had that answer correct, but sometimes these questions like to trick you, so you have to be on your A game. And yeah, man, this is really, really fun. So basically, the main reason for that answer is basically set where you have to have the private key of the data recovery agent in order to reset and restore the plaintext versions of the file. But that private key is very important of the data recovery agent to work with your encryption file standard recovery agent PFX file to begin the process of resetting the contents of the plaintext files. So therefore, you're able to see your once decrypted files to now be reset to be unencrypted. So therefore, the systems administrator is able to give you your access to your files that you once had because your password got resetted. So you had to set a brand new password, and then you also had to get the files to be unencrypted from being decrypted. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoy this. This was a very, very long video. So like I said, I'm going to try to grind this out. I'll try to get these done as much as possible. I wanted to try to shoot for 5 today, but if not, I'm just going to go little by little. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you guys very, very much. Be sure to hit the like button, share this video around, and hope you guys have a great day. Peace, and be sure to stay safe and be free. So this is the Cyber Sector Initiative Zone signing off, and I will see you guys later. Bye.